This is one of the easiest Easter Bunny piñatas that I have made, and I'm going to show you how I made it. So as you guys can see, I already had the sketch down, but let me show you how I did it. I used a pan for the head, a top for the body, and then I used a bowl to create the feet of the bunny. You could go ahead and make this as big or small as possible. You could use whatever you have at home. And then I am just gonna go ahead and add some bunny ears to my bunny. Now that I have my sketch down, I could go ahead and take some scissors, start cutting it out. I feel like this is one of the easiest designs that I have made because you guys can literally make it out of anything that you have in your kitchen using things that you find around your house to create these perfect circles, and all you got to do is just trace them, and then once you have your shape down, you could go ahead, follow along with the scissors and cut it out. So now that I have cut out my first outline of my bunny, I'm gonna go ahead, take it and then place it onto another piece of cardboard, taking a marker or pencil, whatever you have. You're gonna go ahead and, with my scissors, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the outline of the bunny once again. Once I have my bunny cutouts, I could go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be to make strips of cardboard. These are going to go along the edges of my bunny piñata. I am making them at 4 inches wide, and then I'm just gonna go ahead, create these lines and cut as many as possible that I might think are going to be used for the piñata. If I need any more in the future, I could go ahead and just come and cut some more. Now that we have all our pieces, we can start to build our bunny piñata. So I am taking the strips of cardboard and I am going to be using tape and place them all around the edge of my bunny. So as you guys can see, I am using tape, but if you want and have any hot glue, you could also use that or use both of them to make this piñata a little bit stronger. Right here, I didn't need to cut any more cardboard, but I went ahead and cut out the excess of the strip of cardboard that was left on there. I am now going to use this for the center of the piñata to work as a support so that it doesn't dip in. So I'm just gonna go ahead, roll it and secure it with some tape, and then I will be also I will be taking some hot glue and then just glue it onto the center of my piñata. This is going to help the piñata stay in shape, because there are times that if you don't do this, the center of the piñata could actually dip in. So before I close it off, I'm going to be doing the hanging part of the piñata, which I'm going to be using some cardboard and ribbon. I always like to do this before because I somehow wrap it into the inner part of the piñata. So I do like to use ribbon instead of any wire or just regular rope, because I feel like it gives it like a whole little cute look, which you can always match the ribbon to the piñata that you are making. So I'm tying a knob. I will be creating a little hole all up at the top of the piñata, kind of towards the center. You're going to see me also doing it on this little piece of cardboard because this is going to give it a little bit more of like stronger hang. I don't know how I would explain this, but yeah, the hole is also going to be in between the ears, so you want to make sure that the hanging part is actually long enough to come out of the top of the ears. I am going to hot glue it in place, and then I will be wrapping this ribbon not only in there but kind of like around the top, and then bringing it towards the inside of the cardboard just to make a really secure tie. And then I will be leaving it outside of the cardboard once I do close the actual piñata up, if that makes any sense. Any questions, you could always leave it at the comments down below and I will gladly answer them for you, but this is the best way that I could find or explain it to you guys. Also, I did fail to mention that the length of this ribbon is going to be approximately 3 times the length, well, not the length, but the height of my piñata, so that once I do finish, I will be able to wrap it around and kind of tie it at the bottom. After I am done placing my ribbon in place, I'm gonna go ahead and take the other outline of the bunny. I'm gonna place it right on top. You could go ahead and use some hot glue and tape to keep it in place. I am only using tape at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and place it all along the edges of my piñata, and once I am done, I could start decorating. But me personally, I like to add a layer of paper mache, and as you guys can see, that ribbon is going all the way to the bottom where I did tie it together to hold it all in place. For the paper mache, I do use newspaper and some engrudo, which is a mixture of water and flour. I do have a tutorial on my channel. This is completely optional, but the reason why I decided to add the layer was because this piñata is going to be for a pretty large crowd of kids, and if you're doing little tiny kids or maybe 2-3, not that many, you could go ahead and decorate with the tape. Should be strong enough because cardboard, it is strong as it is. As you guys can tell, I am now decorating the edges. I am taking some tissue paper and kind of folding it like you would make a fan in a way, and the excess I do cut off a little bit, but then I also glue it to the sides to give it a cleaner finish. So now the back is going to be plain white, and then I'm gonna show you how I created that effect by doing the front part of the piñata. First of all, I do use crepe paper, and it could be see-through when you use white. So what I'm going to do to make it look a lot cleaner and have more of a polished finish is going to add a layer of white paper, just regular copy paper, whatever paper you may have. I am also using my engrudo to stick it on there. You could also use regular, like that Elmer's glue, that school glue, works perfectly fine if you have that. You don't really need to make this mixture, but since I make piñatas quite often, I already have it. So now that I have my base covered with white paper, I'm gonna go ahead and take some streamers. I am using white. They are crepe paper. You could also use tissue paper, whatever kind of paper you would like to use to decorate your piñata. You could also do this. But I find working with streamers a lot easier, and they already come in a roll, so I don't even have to worry about cutting it. So what I'm gonna do, as you guys saw, I did add some engrudo. If you have Elmer's glue, you could go ahead and use that. You could use hot glue. But the only reason why I don't like using hot glue for this particular step is because since I am pinching the paper to create this little effect, it's a little bit harder to do it with hot glue since it does dry quite fast, and this one gives me the time that I need to do the little pinches that I am doing to create this wave effect. Something else that I noticed once I was finished with this was that this design doesn't really show at the end. So if I was able to do it again, or if I ever do one of these again, since it is going to have like blue paper on top, these waves are not going to be shown as much. So you could go ahead and cut it as a fringe, or just add the strips of paper just plain, and that would be good enough because it's pretty much going to be the background of your piñata. At this point, I ran out of crepe paper, so I couldn't finish it up until the next day. So if I would have just done this wavy effect in the back and then in the front, I should have just gone with a plain design. It would have been enough, and I could have finished tonight. But I guess I had to wait till the next day. As you guys can see right here, when it dries up, the white looks a lot more bright. But yeah, now that I have my new roll of crepe paper, you could buy these at the Dollar Tree. That's where I usually buy them. Just gonna go ahead and finish up the front. So now that I have all the background, this is what I'm going to be using to finish up the piñata. So I am using some light blue crepe paper, and I'm going to pull it out, and I will be cutting it right through the center to make some thinner strips. Now that I have my strips, I'm gonna go ahead and place them over my bunny just to see how many I will be need, and if I need any more I will be cutting a couple of more. They're going to be placed in a diagonal and horizontal way and creating a plaid design on top of my piñata. In this case, I am going to be using hot glue to glue all these little strips, and it's okay if it's a little bit longer than what it actually needs to be. At the end, we could go ahead and cut the excess. This is how it should look once we are done placing all of our blue papers on top of it. As you guys can see, you're not really able to tell the design underneath. So if you decide to go for a more plain design or just add white paper in the background of this, it's totally fine. In another case, I would have just done it in the back, and then the front I would have done it plain, because as you guys can tell, you are not really able to tell about that wavy effect with all of this plaid design up in the front. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the excess, just trim it out a little bit, and then to finish it off, I will be creating a bow at the front of the piñata. So the bow is actually really easy to make as well. I am just taking a pretty long strip of ribbon. This one I actually bought it at the Dollar Tree as well. They have plenty of colors, not only blue. You could go ahead and get maybe pink, purple, or they have like some that have some really cute designs, but this time we were going for a plain blue piñata. So I am just gonna go ahead and kind of fold it and pinch it at the center. I will be taking a little bit more of this ribbon, and then I'm going to be folding it and just tie it around the center of my bow and creating this little cute bow. I will be using some hot glue as well to keep it in place, and then to glue it onto the piñata. So we're just gonna go ahead and give Mr. Bunny his little bow, and that is pretty much it for this tutorial. It is a really easy piñata to make. So if you guys do decide to give it a try, please let me know, and I would really like to see your designs as well. If you have me on IG, I am there as francisca.made.it. And yeah, hope you guys did like and enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, right here I did trim out the little corners, creating like a little V on there just to make it look a little bit more fancy. But yeah, this is how the piñata came out at the end, and hope you guys did like it.